What's up guys, it's Larry at Anything Scout. Today we're doing tech tips on floor replacements. Alright, so tools needed. You'll need some type of center punch. These click types work really good. You can use regular kind with a hammer. Need a drill, a spot weld cutter. They cut spot welds right out of there, works super slick. Next you'll need the angle grinder with a good old cutoff wheel. Cut stuff right out of there with ease. You'll need a hammer, some type of chisel, or we use these. This is a seam splitter. They work real good for splitting apart the floor from the floor braces. We also have a couple other tools here, mini belt sander and an air saw. They're just extra helpful tools that we use here at the shop that help get the job done a little bit easier. I know everyone doesn't have those, but they work really good. And then we have this needle scaler here. Works real good for getting all that extra scaly rust off. That way you can get it coated real nice and get ready to put the new floor in. All right, as you can see, this floor we've already started taking out a little bit, but I just want to give you a few quick tips on what to do before you start just cutting out all your floors. One thing you're going to want to do is mask off the truck. If you're not painting it, you're definitely going to want to protect your paint. You don't want to ruin any of that stuff. If you've got an interior, make sure you either take it all out or you mask it off really good with some paper, or just cover everything that you don't want to get ruined by sparks. The other thing you're going to want to do is take a lot of pictures. Take as many as you can of every little detail that you think you're going to need to know for putting in the new floor. Take a lot of measurements. That stuff in the long run, it helps you when you go to put the floor back in, and it's really quite important to make sure you do all that stuff so it goes together real easy. All right, so now that you got everything masked off, all your interior out of the truck, the next step is to save this lip here. You don't want to cut that off. We get way too many people that cut that lip off and then you don't have anything to weld the new floor to. We like to use just a regular piece of anything like masking tape. Works really good for getting your nice cut line to make sure that you leave that lip there. You don't want to get that cut off. All right, so the next step is to make your long cut along right here. I go all the way from the back all the way to the front of the floor up there. And then the next thing to do is to cut out sections between your cross members. Make sure you don't cut too deep. There is a little bit of a gap between the cross member and your cut here, so you can cut through there. You just want to make sure that you don't go too deep and cut all the way through your cross member. That would be no good. And yeah, just start cutting out sections between the cross members, and that way it's easier to work on cutting out your spot welds and prying up the floor. All right, so the next step is to start finding all your spot welds and getting those out of there. What I like to do is cut out a big section between the cross members. That way you can pry between the floor and the cross members. Once you get the spot welds, you can either grind them out, or we like to use the spot weld cutter. Sometimes it's hard to find them and it's a little bit easier to do it this way, and if you don't have a spot weld cutter. So some of these spot welds can be really difficult to find. What I found works best is to take something, either your chisel or the seam splitter, and just get it in there between the cross member with your hammer. Just pry it out of the way, and you'll be able to find the spot welds where the metal starts to bend up really sharp. Right on the other side of it, there'll be a spot weld, so that's where you'll have to either use your spot weld cutter or grind it up. So as you're prying your floor up, a couple points you're going to want to take in consideration is there's spot welds all the way along the top of your rocker too that you'll have to work out. We like to put a piece of tape down on the rocker so you're not messing up your paint, and just kind of get something in there and start prying it up. And eventually you'll be able to find all your spot welds and you can just work your way forward. All right, so once you get yourself to the front of the floor, there's this front lip here that you'll have to cut out, there should be spot welds all the way along the front. Make sure you take your body bolt out. That's important too. That'll hold the floor in. And then everything should just come out. You'll find a lot of times there's a lot of spot welds you'll miss. You'll just kind of have to work your way back through it. Once you get it all out, it should pop right out. And then you can start working on cleaning up the floors, get them coated, and get ready to start putting in the new floor. All right, so now that you got your floor pan out, what you're gonna wanna do is use your needle scaler to clean up some of these cross members in the top of your rocker. You wanna get all that scaly rust off of there, and that way you can put your coating of your rust bolt on there, coat that stuff real good. You don't want that stuff to rot out again. All right, so now that you got all your floor cut out, all the coatings are nice and dry, you're ready to weld in the new floor. This is what you'll be looking at when you order a new floor from Anything Scout. It's already got the lip bent on it, front and rear, and the side. Now you're ready to start welding it in. All right, so now you're ready to install your new floor. A couple things you'll have to watch out for. You'll probably have to trim this lip back along here and the front side to get this to fit. You want this lip to be even with your dog legs and kick panel right here. That's another very important thing that you'll have to take into consideration. Sometimes cutting this out to get this lip flush with this one is what you want. So you'll just have to slowly cut away, getting this floor to fit perfect along right here. All right, so this side is ready to start marking out your spot welds. As you can see, we've got this side trimmed to fit so it matches up real nicely with the dog leg and kick panel here. The next step will be to start marking out all your spot welds. All right, so next step is to start marking out where you're gonna drill all your spot weld holes. I like to just get underneath the truck and you can just put a mark right along. Wow, that marker didn't work at all, did it? I like to get underneath, just mark where all your cross members are, where the rocker is. I like to just put a little, it's not working now. Put in a little arrow so you know what side of your line to cut on. It was awful. This marker sucks. All right, so now you got it all marked out where all of your cross members and your rocker and everything is. Next step is to just go ahead and start drilling all your spot weld holes. I like to use a 1/4" drill bit. Works really good for welding in all those spot welds. And I like to start on the cross members. Usually I'll just do 4. Oh yeah, rule number 1, make sure always wear your safety glasses. All right, and then for doing along the rocker and the inner lip of the floor, I like to just do like 1.5 to 2 inch spacing between each spot weld. And one more thing you're gonna wanna do is from the top side, mark out where your spot welds are gonna be. You can't get to those from the bottom side, but just make sure to remember to drill those so that way you can get those spot welded. These cap mounts and wedges have already been replaced. We do plan on doing a video in the future on how to do that, but you want to make sure that you have a good base to weld your new floor to. All right, for the little recap of this video, first thing you want to do is start cutting out along that seam there. Then you go along finding your spot welds and prying up the floor wherever you can, cutting out the floor. Once you get that cut out, you're gonna wanna needle scale everything, get it all cleaned up. You want a nice clean surface to start welding to. First, you wanna coat everything underneath there, get a nice coating on everything so it doesn't rust out again. Start fitting your new floor and get that fitting good so it's ready to weld in. Do all your spot weld holes so you're ready to weld that. And once you get your final fit, kind of figure out where you want it to sit and start welding it in. Once again, it's Larry at Anything Scout. Thanks for watching another tech tip. Make sure to remember to like, subscribe, share the video, and be on the lookout for more tech tip videos. Oh God. Something like that. You just want like one spin like that.